So essentially what they're going to do is open up some old packs, old boxes. So that's the kind of conversation that people are having. That's going to be in collector boxes of Dominaria. What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to Metazoo with you. I am KitchenTableTCG. I hope you're having yourself a fantastic day. Just a little bit of a disclaimer. We did not film this after the Wizards of the Coast live stream in which they talked about what's in the Dominaria collector boxes. That has now all been confirmed. There is Legends packs were opened, Legends boxes were open, and those cards were randomly inserted into the collector's boxes. All that stuff came out after we shot this podcast. We left all the podcasts kind of together. We didn't want to delete it. It's fun dialogue, fun talking about it. So hope you enjoyed the episode. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to hit subscribe, remember to hit like, and we're so thankful that you're here. Hope you enjoyed the episode.
Whoa! Welcome to Metazoo with you, America's most correct TCG podcast. I am, of course, joined by the man who has more infections than dry rooms in his house, Louis DeGeorge.
That was good. That was good. Other than that, you used the same line, the most correct podcast.
That's our new line.
That's our new line?
That's our new one.
Oh, okay. Okay, gotcha.
When you have the crystal ball we have, I think it's time to mention it.
Oh, man. All right. What's up, everyone?
So, most importantly, how is kennel cloth and COVID treating you?
Kennel cloth? What's a kennel cloth?
It's like 10 o'clock. It's past my bedtime.
COVID has been rough, but we're on the other side. Nobody wants to hear my COVID story.
Do you remember when I had COVID and what you said to me to inspire me the day before the podcast?
Shut up and get on the podcast. What do you want from me? Like, welcome to our podcast. That you deserve that. And you did it well. I'm proud of you. I did. Well. And
I carried it despite having like 140-degree fever that day, I think.
I asked you to do the podcast tomorrow, and your neighbor is more important than me, apparently.
My neighbor's like 100,000 years old and called me tonight and was like, can you help me move my
I didn't realize
stove?
Your neighbor was your younger brother.
That's right. I'm the last remaining neighbor. Like, everybody has moved.
Yeah. Anyway. Welcome to the podcast, everyone. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna talk about.
You can follow along here for my moving updates.
Dude, you can follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, which we have.
Wow.
Dude, you know we have like 350 people who just listen to us and not even watch the podcast. It's like growing, and we do nothing. We don't do any like. I know. I don't know. I guess they don't want to look at our faces. I guess I can't blame them that much.
I don't blame them. I've seen me. It's rough. I shaved today for the first time in a week, dude. It was bad. I was like, God, I look like I usually look like a little bit homeless.
Right.
I looked like real homeless.
All right. So here's what we're talking about today. We're going to talk about the last week's episode, which we had 2 camps last week in our which is pretty typical for us, but the channel TCG player is what I'm calling them now. Update. I thought that was good. Whatever. We're going to talk about the balanced fab meta a little bit. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time on it. I just think it's important that we brush on it. We're going to talk about languages in TCG because both Magic and Fab have some foreign language stuff going on right now. And then
neither one will be in Russian soon.
We've got some. Neither one will be in Russian soon. Yeah. And then we have some spicy Magic rumors, which have already started to leak, but we shared it in the Discord server a while ago. Distribution games for Magic. George has some what are we calling it? What's that Seinfeld thing where they pick their gripes? They have like a Festivus where they air their grievances or air their whatever. And then we're going to talk.
I switched distributors this week.
We have a lot of stuff to talk about this week. What were we thinking? Kickstarters.
I'm glad we're doing it at 10 o'clock with you when you're COVID ridden.
Yeah. There's a bunch of different Kickstarter game stuff to talk about. And then we'll talk about a new dump list from distribution on Metazoo. And we'll rehash our conversation on 100,000 boxes because our comment section couldn't remember that we talked about it 2 weeks ago.
Why did you do this? Why did you do this? This is why you shouldn't read the comments. Just because they don't have the memory from 1 week ago doesn't mean we need to address it.
That's all right. That's all right. All right. So yeah. Before we start, I want to start with something. I want to do a little rebuttal to my friend, the Magic historian, and to my friend George,
who once said that
are we really doing this? Yeah, who once said I had no business sense. I just want everybody to know that I'm incredibly proud of my business, and I'm incredibly thankful for all the patrons and the support that I have on the channel.
This is the cringiest thing we've ever done.
I just want people to know.
I listened to Mitch give a 30-minute rendition of COVID symptoms.
Here you go,
I would rather have Mitch list every COVID symptom than be like, I'm really proud of me.
Listen, I'm super proud of this channel. I get to stay home 24/7.
The magic historian gets to you
like
nobody else ever has, and I love him for it.
Nothing got to me because I get to be nothing got. What are you saying? I'm saying
this was not part of the segment until yesterday. Magic historian fillets you open and leaves you to rot on the sidewalk.
That was a rough stream, but I just want to say I am very proud of what I've built here.
And Louis. We're all very proud of you.
Thank you.
You're doing great.
Thanks. All right, let's talk about TCG player.
I want to talk about you a little bit more.
No, I don't.
I think it's great. Tell us more. What else are you proud about yourself in?
I want my supporters to know that I'm extremely thankful for them and that I have been very blessed to be able to do this, and I'm very proud of it. So that's all I want to know. And you can make fun of it all you want.
Hack, will you please message me? I've been trying to get him to be this sensitive for like a year and a half, and it hasn't worked.
This is to you.
Yeah. This wasn't planned before last night's stream. That's all I'll tell you, boss.
You were on his side in the stream. That's what hurt me. You were egging him on in the stream. So this is to you. I just want you to know, George. Despite your negativity and bringing me down, I just want you to know that I'm extremely proud of what I built.
You're like a phoenix.
Yes. Let's talk about channel TCG player. George, you had some people who didn't believe you last episode with the
let me be very clear here. I had a very few small number that did not believe me. And let me go over
not the same number of boxes that Channel Fireball had.
Yes. So let me go over the two there's three things I want to highlight about last week that I want to go over kind of what I think we didn't get to go over enough last week because I was rudely interrupted by Louis too many times.
That's good.
Yes. I thought you were about to interrupt me again.
No, I'm letting you go, baby.
So the first argument was that Sasso said that nobody knows the numbers of boxes. They weren't discussed with anybody. That just literally cannot be true. He has been trying to sell the company or its assets for several months. This has been widely reported. If you're going to buy an asset, you generally have to know what you're buying. You can't just buy a warehouse with a random number of flesh and blood boxes in it. They will have to disclose at least rough inventory and usually exact inventory to some degree. So a bunch of people knew the inventory numbers.
Seems
logical. Second one, what?
That seems logical.
Yeah, I mean, this is not that made no sense to me. And people being like, oh, he said it can't leak. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. The second one, I love people are like, oh, my source says there's this, when the source is Mark Nolan publicly stating this. Mark is a friend of mine. Mark is as honest as the day is long, in my opinion. I trust Mark. Mark is saying what he thinks is accurate. He owns Fork and Fire. Mark is a friend of mine. I am not at all saying anything to disparage Mark. I think I know where the miscommunication is coming from and why I still believe in my number roughly, which I'll go over in a minute. So Mark said he thinks there's roughly $230,000 worth of product, which is about 5,000 boxes of Fab. I don't think this is accurate for two reasons. First, that's roughly what I was offered. And I don't believe I was offered all of the boxes. I did not sign an NDA because the parties that were doing the transaction did not, I was not part of that. They were trying to sell it to me. So the other reason this just does not pass my smell test at all is you have to believe that Channel Fireball, if you add up all of their Monarch First boxes they had left, all of their Monarch Unlimited boxes they had left, all of their Tails First boxes they had left, all of their Tails Unlimited boxes they had left, all of their Everfest boxes, all of their enormous print run of Welcome to Wraith Unlimited that they still had left. They could not sell even at below distributor cost. All their Arcane Unlimited boxes and all their hot product and all their Uprising.
Yep.
If you add all of their boxes up, you have to believe that they still possess less than 5% of the Monarch First print run.
Okay.
It doesn't make sense to me. They have to still have more than 5% of a print run if you add up all of their boxes.
Okay.
And lastly, the biggest reason why I'm still pretty convinced I'm right that it's a very big number is all of my sources talk to me in numbers of pallets, not numbers of boxes.
Right. So using the 250,000 number, talking about number of pallets, and assuming, I don't know, it's hard to assume what the value of the boxes would be. How many pallets would a $250,000 number be? Because you and I have talked a lot, and I know that your store has probably managed the same about that number of fab products since I met you. Like, it's not in over 7 sets. Oh,
we've gotten more than 5,000 boxes as a store.
That's not that much. And I calculate that out to like 6,200 boxes.
Yeah, that's not
basically. And so in a pallet is
about 100 cases, so about 500, 400
yeah, 96 cases.
Yeah.
So divided by 400, that's only 15 pallets.
Yeah, they have more than 15 pallets. I can, like, I would bet my left arm on that.
Yeah. Sorry, did you have more stuff?
My gut is and has been there's between 150 and 250 for number of boxes. Mm-hmm. And the reason I'm not sure, I know that's a big range, and I apologize to people about that.
Last week you said 250, and you're pretty firm on
250.
Okay.
The reason I'm less sure is because they had different time horizons.
Yeah.
One of them was during the original sale. One of them was part of this sale. And so there's outdated info.
Yeah, I mean, they could have had 230,000 boxes when we heard about the numbers 2 months ago, and since then they could have sold
30,000 boxes.
They could, So who knows? Maybe they actually sold boxes to some big wigs or some big stores.
That wouldn't shock me at all. I know that one store did take a pallet or two.
So when everybody was sorry, keep going. Do you have anything else?
No, I mean, like I am not, the way I would view it is what numbers would really shock me and what numbers wouldn't. Now, I will say, like, it would not shock me if there were games played. If it comes out like Channel Fireball only sold them $230,000 worth of product, but Card Shop Live sold them 200,000 boxes. Well, I'm not, that's really playing semantics to me. Yeah. That wouldn't shock me either. I would be flabbergasted if we're not well into the 6 figures of boxes. Flabbergasted. Like, I guess I don't see that world.
So I did the math in my head because I expected there to be some pushback to it, but the 250,000 number that other people are putting out seems so different to me. I mean, we're talking the difference between your number last week and 250,000. The difference is like $9.4 million. Like, your number last week would have been like almost $10 million, and that number's not even, it's like completely different.
I also think, like, do you think Channel Fireball would have sold if they only had $250,000 of inventory they couldn't sell?
Well, they could be selling for other reasons. It's not fair.
We'll go over that in a minute. I don't think so, but I'm going to go over that in a minute.
Yeah, but I'm just saying they could.
Yeah.
So my focus was on, okay, let's take a look at the print run numbers. What would surprise me for WTR Unlimited? And so I popped up the print run, and this like idea of what would be a price or what would be a number of boxes that would surprise me. 200,000 boxes would not surprise me at all for Unlimited.
That would stun me in the low side.
On the low side?
Absolutely.
You think there were more than 200,000 boxes of
Welcome to Wraith?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
See,
I would bet a lot of money on that.
Here's my point is that we're talking about set, and this is, I think people didn't totally grasp. Most of it was Monarch Unlimited, was it Monarch Unlimited and Tails Unlimited and WRR Unlimited?
Monarch Unlimited and Wraith Unlimited were the vast majority.
Okay, so most of it was Monarch, but there are other boxes and there are other sets, and this is a culmination of 7 sets. That's a lot of. I mean, if you divide that evenly at 240,000, that's 34,000 from each set. It wouldn't surprise me if they had a third if they were given a half of the print run of WTR Unlimited, and so it wouldn't surprise me if they sold 50,000 and they still have 30,000 left. That wouldn't surprise me. And so when I did that math, like, there certainly is more than 10x WTR Alpha, like that. That seems like the bottom number to me. If you were to guess what the print run is, that seems like the bottom number to me. Especially now you have Monarch first at 125,000. Like now you're dealing with, is it 250? Is it 300,000 for WTR Unlimited? This is like, I don't know if I wish that LSS would just never tell us, or that they would just rip the Band-Aid off and just tell us the print run numbers.
I wish they would tell us the print run numbers. I also wish they would buy back this stock and just burn it with Everfest Unlimited. Oh, that was the other weird thing. People were like, oh, George is confirming Everfest Unlimited. I am not confirming Everfest Unlimited. I have no inside information on Everfest Unlimited at all. All I know is what Rudy said in his video a couple months ago, that James White confirmed it to him. That's all I know. That's not
the he said it oh, that it could come up.
He said that it will come out. And the question is when, not if.
Did you we didn't talk about this. Did you know that they added in April, they added Everfest Unlimited to the map policy?
Yeah, I mean, like, and it's available at both distros. Like this weird rumor that like it's like now canceled. Listen, it could be. I don't know. There was this buyout of the Fable. Yeah. So like maybe they got some inside scoop. Like, listen,
I love buyouts when boxes are still available from distribution.
On clearance.
I love it. It's great.
On clearance.
Yeah. That's
like,
great.
The distribution has them on clearance.
Just let them do it. Who cares? Like, who cares?
I support it. I hope they
it gives me something to talk about. I love it.
I love
it, baby.
They're so nice. I guess, like, listen, like, I could be convinced I'm wrong. Like, I could be convinced my sources were wrong. I could be convinced, even though, like, I'll admit, like, they don't know each other is my problem.
Yeah.
Like, they were all within 30,000 boxes of each other, and none of them know each other. Like, that's why I tend to think, like, my numbers are really accurate. Like, I could be wrong. They could all be wrong. But, like, I will be absolutely stunned if the number of boxes is 5,000. Like, that would totally, that doesn't like, everybody, like, that makes no sense to me. None. Zero.
Yeah. I agree that your number may have been on the high end, as it could have been the number that was given 2 months ago, and they could have moved through a considerable amount of product over those 2 months. Not like a ton of product, but they could have moved through 30,000 boxes.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, I mean, like that kind of thing. So, I mean, they did some. Weren't they doing that massive sale? I mean, when we got that,
they did that before. They did that before.
I think we got those. I think we got those numbers in the middle of that. No. Okay. Anyway, yeah.
Because we reached out to the parties during that sale, and then they ended it like a couple days later because I think they got in trouble.
Yeah. Okay.
That was the rumor, at least.
Well, there's also rumors about the LSS buying back from them. There's some.
I don't think that's a rumor. I think that's a hope.
Well, I know. I'm just saying, like, maybe that happened. Maybe there was.
Yeah. That's right. There was that weird rumor. I mean, like, that clearly, like, maybe that did happen. Maybe that would explain the difference in boxes. If LSS bought back 200,000 boxes, and like now there's 5,000 left, that would explain it.
Yeah.
Like that would, like, that's a good call, Louis. I didn't think of that. Like, that would explain it. But like, I would think, like, my source would have known that.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. Anyway. All right. Okay. I thought it was important to brush on that because there was a lot.
I want to talk one thing about the sale.
Okay.
This part that was interrupted on last week, rudely. I'm very proud of my analysis, by the way. I want you all to know that I feel like I have accomplished a lot in the world of mergers and acquisitions.
Yeah.
And I'm very proud of what I've studied. I just want to make sure that was clear. Yeah. Thank you. I am.
You should be.
I hope you're proud of me, Magic Historian. So one of the more interesting things in this merger was that there was no joint press release. If you look at the press release from TCG Player, it was an acquisition, and Channel Fireball said it was a merger.
Yes.
I've worked, like, my law background is in international M&A. My master's is in financial control and mainly in mergers and acquisitions. I've worked on a few significant mergers in my day. I love mergers. I'll be honest. The first thing I read every morning is the Wall Street Journal deal book. Love it.
Super depressing.
I love mergers. I love mergers and venture capital.
That's cool.
I love it. The last step in every merger I have ever worked on is you get both parties together and you say, what do we want the press release to say?
Right.
And they're going to hash it out at the table. Now it's over Zoom, I'm sure, because the kids are hip and they're zooming away. But you're going to ask them, what do you want the press release to say? And you're going to negotiate that language. Both legal teams will look at the language to make sure they're not going to get in trouble with the Papa SEC. And they're going to release a joint statement together.
Okay.
That has happened on literally every deal I have worked on.
Okay.
The fact that that clearly did not happen here tells me at least one of three things, and likely more than one of the three things. First thing it means is this deal happened very quickly. Could have happened very quickly. Second thing this tells me is it could have been very cantankerous. It could have been filled with a lot of animosity.
Okay.
The third thing it tells me is that, like,
cantankerous.
Ask one of your supporters that you love to define it for you in the comment section, please.
Okay.
And they're very proud of you.
Yeah.
Third thing is that this might just not have been done very well. Like this might have just been a merger that just wasn't handled professionally.
Right.
It tells me at least one of those three things is probably the answer. And maybe two of the three. Or all three, right? You can have it be quickly, you hate each other, and it wasn't done well. But like that was very interesting to me that they did not have a joint press release, and in fact, their language was very different.
So, if this was 4 years ago and this happened, I'd be like, "Oh no, this seems like two giants coming together. It'd be really great." But because they had just updated and gone to this like marketplace, which its sole purpose was to like compete with TCG Player, like makes me feel like the animosity makes a lot more sense. I don't know that I feel like rushed makes sense.
I think it does, only because we know there were other buyers looking 2 months earlier and they all turned it down.
You think the buyers turned it down, or do you think that Channel Fireball turned it down?
Both. I think some groups. I think some groups the buyers turned it down. I think Channel Fireball turned down other groups. Maybe
they just can agree on a price, or
I don't think it was a price issue, to be honest. The number one hang up on 90% of the mergers is ego.
Like they don't want to sell to a certain person.
They don't want to sell to a certain person. I mean,
that
listen, like a certain somebody reached out to me about my website. And like, listen, like I don't use fleshandblood.com that much. I will bury it with me before I sell it to this person.
Sure.
My dog will run around with it on its collar before I sell it to this person. So he could offer me $10 million. I wouldn't sell it to him. And like that's why most mergers don't occur, because like there's personal conflict and there's personal disagreements, not because they don't make business sense.
Well, you just called it a merger again. This was an acquisition, right? I mean, don't we agree on that?
I don't know.
Really?
Here's my gut. This is completely unsourced. This is George, a fat man in a Hawaiian shirt and a Grand Seiko spring dial watch. Spring watch. Guessing. This to me felt like a fire sale. This to me felt like
an acquisition, though.
Yeah, that's what this feels like to me.
Because if this is a merger, this conversation is a lot different. It has nothing to do with bags or something like that. If it's a merger, both businesses are doing something because they feel like they are going to improve their overall bottom line as a result of coming together. Acquisition is one person can't run their business anymore and they are dying, and the other person says, if I buy, I can use assets or technology or whatever from this business and be more successful.
So most businesses don't fail when they start. They fail when they expand. That is the number one thing most entrepreneurs get wrong. It's funny. I sit on 5 or 6 boards, maybe more than that now. And like, that is the number one thing that entrepreneurs get wrong. Is they're like, oh, I made it through my first year, I'm in the clear. I'm like, no, like this is when you fail. And expansions are risky for, I would say, a couple major reasons. First is that you're shelling out a lot more money than you're bringing in.
Yeah.
right? It cost Channel Fireball a lot of money to buy Binder POS and to build the fake TCG player than it was going to bring in realistically the first couple months or first couple years, or maybe the first decade. So you have all these significant capital outlays without a significant increase in revenue. The second one is you're bringing on a whole new problem of management. I'm part of a board that does a medical research startup. This is a very sharp kid, very smart kid. Has a great product. People love the product.
It's false.
Yeah, it's a challenging CEO situation.
Yeah.
He's maybe not the best. He's maybe, and he knows this about himself. He's a very good kid, very good kid. But like, he's maybe not the best CEO.
Right.
That company has a hard ceiling of where he can get them to. He can't lead a team of 500. I don't know if that's not the story that I'm reading in this. Did Channel Fireball buy all these different things, expand their business, and they couldn't do it? They didn't have the right management structure.
Or they didn't really understand it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, did they really understand Fab?
Did they really understand? Speaking even bigger than that, did they really understand the marketplace? Right. I mean, remember they started with 3.5% fees, and that's why I went there. That's why I started selling all my Magic boxes there, because like 3.5% fees is a hell of a lot better than TCG players like, I don't know, 14% fees, something like that. But then they upped them, they changed them, they raised them. So I think TCG players less than that on sealed product. But anyway, like they obviously didn't know, like they did this whole big thing to get stores in, and then they couldn't keep the stores because their fee structure changed. Yeah.
So. I mean, like nothing like, I think this is the story of a company that grew way too fast, way too large. The markets turned against it, and it didn't know how to react.
Yeah.
That's just my gut.
Gosh, I mean, think about all the extra content creators they had to add, as they added Metazoo and Fab, and I think D-Spirits Soul
distributor. They added distribution.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, you're right. They added all these elements.
They have, like, keep in mind their distribution was like completely redonkulous. Like it made no sense of distribution deals.
No.
Like they guess, and like, and also like I don't think they had the right people in place to run it.
Well, yeah. Let's be a distributor who's going to have an online marketplace, and then let's compete with the stores that are buying our product from a distribution level on our online marketplace with Card Shop Live. That was their business model. So now as a retailer, I don't even want to take more product because you've already dumped the price on Card Shop Live, which is competing on your marketplace that I can't sell on. It's just nothing worked. They did too many things. That makes a lot of sense.
That's just my gut. I don't have. I have no sources.
Right.
In the Sasso camp.
Right.
You'll be happy to hear that, Sasso. None of your people have talked to me. If they want to, my email's here. You can email me at fleshandblood.com. But like what? Go to fleshandblood.com. Go contact us. Send me a little info.
Okay, George, you have to remember to check your store email then sometimes.
That goes to my personal email.
Oh, gotcha. All right, we need to move on. It's been 30 minutes. We're on topic 1 of like 50 today.
Let's roll.
Anything else you have to say about this? I mean, I feel
like to be with you.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about the balance and the force of the Flesh and Blood meta. This can be pretty quick. Yeah, we have said, I think it's important that we talk about, because we talked about not even bringing it up because there's no dialogue to really have. But we have said multiple times, Fab's biggest issue and most important thing in the world is a balanced meta. And the success of Uprising fell on, is this going to solve the meta? And they did. They banned the cards they needed to ban. They, we hate bans, but they fixed it. They got it. And it appears that the meta is very, very balanced. You're seeing a ton of Road to Nationals that are all over the place in terms of heroes.
The worst thing than banning is not banning enough. If you're going to ban until you get to this.
Yeah.
Like, I give them credit for this. Yeah. Like, nothing is worse than banning a card and then being like, okay, the game's still imbalanced. What will be banned next month?
Yeah.
Frankly, that's what Magic does. That's the Magic sauce. That's their bit. LSS deserves a lot of credit for kind of taking the pill.
Yeah.
They took their medicine. They took their lumps. They had to hear a fat man in a Hawaiian shirt yell at them for a couple of weeks.
A year.
Make a balanced game.
Yeah.
This isn't hard.
That's their sales pitch.
You want to be the most competitive game, you got to have a balance.
It's not Magic sales pitch. That's not what they're trying to do anymore.
No, they're all, how do you feel about selling $330 collector boosters? That's their sales pitch. Yes. Like,
how do you feel about 15% price increases?
I'm in. Like, LSS deserves a lot of credit for clearly banning the right cards, and I'll be candid, the right number of cards. This is balance.
Yeah,
the game seems incredibly balanced, except for Azalea. Suck it, Azalea.
And more importantly than just balance, and as a result of, maybe not more importantly, but as a result of it being balanced, it is now fun again. Like, that is what I'm hearing from people. Is they're excited. They're excited to play the game again. Yeah, and that's been the frustration, because I'm not hearing, I don't want to play this week because I don't want to play against Starvo. You know what I mean? Yeah. No, this is great. Meta is great. Balance is great. They're doing a good job. Yeah. Okay. And like, listen, like, this is not Uprising. It's not for me. I think I've made that clear. But like, Uprising, the box seems very, 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 very well balanced. Yeah. Which I said would be very hard in a 3 euro box. The polls. Yeah. Wait, how about like you draft it? How about draft and limited experience? Yeah, we talked about that a little bit on Reaction Phase 2, where it's like, oh, you guys back? I thought you guys canceled it. No, we're back. Oh, a month. How was your month off? It was 2 weeks off. First of all, it was 3 weeks off actually, but continue. I don't think that's true. No, well, it was like 2 weeks in a day. We posted it today. It's Wednesday, so it was like, so it's 2 weeks and 2 days actually. 2 weeks and 2.5 days. Yeah. Round down though. I mean, rounds up. That's ridiculous. It's a donation to charity. We round down. Okay. So you ever go there and they're like, hey, you're freaking Taco Bell today for me, my wife, and my 3-year-old. $28 freaking dollars. Did you buy the franchise? No, we got like this. It was $28, and they're like, they had the audacity to be like, hey, it's $28.12. Would you like to round up to $29? I was like, no, I don't want to round up to $29. I can use 82 cents more than they can. I got kennel cough. No, that's it was the principle of the matter. I was like, I'm spending $28 on Taco Bell. I'm not rounding up this time, but plus, like, rounding up 95 cents. That's not rounding up. That's adding $1. Let's call it what it is. So I don't even know what charity it was. I didn't even think about it. I was that bad. What, it was Duke ALS, you monster. Yeah, it is what it is. There's other charitable giving in my life that I'll get away with my Taco Bell $1 or some other time. What were we talking about? Who knows? Anyway, super balanced. We're talking about something on the reaction phase and how you guys took a month and a half off or something. Yeah, the draft. The format seems pretty good. I mean, it seems balanced, and my players who play Fab love this box. Yeah, great, awesome. Yeah, you guys do a ton of drafting. I always forget that. That's all we do. Yeah. I talked to my WotC rep yesterday, and we'll talk about why in a minute. But like, he was like, your store does like more Magic drafts than anybody else in the country. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. That follows. Like, we also do more Fab drafts than anybody else in the country, I bet. That's awesome. All right, let's talk about languages and TCGs. We didn't talk about this last week. Fab released their foreign language products. I guess they're redoing some of them though. Yeah, they had some translation issues. The Fiverr guide didn't work out. We'll talk about that. And then also Magic just announced they discontinued 5 languages. So, which is amazing. Like, how many languages is Magic in? I didn't know they were in, like, I can't name 5 languages. They are in simplified Chinese no longer. No, they're in simplified. They're in traditional French, German, Italian, Japanese, Korean, Portuguese, Russian, and Spanish. So they were in. They're in 10. Russian still? Well, they were in 10, and they just dropped 5. I don't remember exactly what 5. They gotta drop Russian. But here's my question: as you do talk about businesses and whatever, do you think that the requirements of printing in all these different languages and doing the the translations, and then you have to have different boxes, and it's a different supply, and it's different logistics, all that stuff. Do you think that Magic is essentially saying, hey, this is not worth the time for the return? And so now Fab is putting all this energy into it. Should they be looking at Magic and thinking, what are we doing? Or
no,
what I've heard a lot of is people are thinking that the European market is actually going to be like the biggest growing market for Fab as a result of the game skill level.
All right. Let me first say that like nothing makes me like be like, oh, corporate speak more than like the fastest growing. Because if I have 1 person to 10 people, I have the fastest growing. I've 10x'd. Like I have
my store might be the fastest growing LGS in America then.
Yeah, I mean, like you have 18 square feet. You guys can fit in 3 people at a time.
Sure. We have like the capacity for 24 players, George. It's like a decent sized LGS. It's not some big wig hot shot thing like you, but we can't all be 1%ers.
I'm proud of my store, Louis, and that's offensive.
Me too.
I built that store.
We should both be proud.
I built that store. Okay.
You did. I'm proud of you too, buddy.
Thank you. I appreciate
You're
that.
A big giant store. You don't have to squash.
I'm proud of my customers. My customers mean a lot to me.
Yeah.
And I won't listen to you or the Magic historian say anything bad about them.
You shouldn't.
My customers, some of which are your patrons.
I never said anything bad.
Some of which are your patrons.
I never said anything bad.
I'm very proud of them, Louis. Thank you.
Called you a 1%er. That's not a bad thing. It's just a fact.
Rude.
You were talking down on a poor LGS.
Your LGS mainly.
Miserable,
like
sad.
One of them. Like, it's not like I'm like, poor LGSs.
Miserable, sad LGS that's just starting. You can't get any more double master.
All right,
don't worry. I got all my Commander Legends.
I forget. Did one of your friends hook you up with some double masters?
Yes, you did. And some Pokemon Go. You're a great friend. When you're
facts. Yeah. When I'm not on Mike's stream making you apparently very sad.
Yeah.
God, I gotta figure out how he does it.
Yeah.
Continue. So like here is like the weird truth about Magic, in my opinion. Oh Jesus.
I muted it for the audience, so they didn't have to go through that, but you did.
Do you see the light?
That's a good one. Came from all the way down, that cough.
Was that the kennel cough or COVID, do you think?
I don't know. I think that was the leftover kennel cough, to be honest with you.
That makes sense to me.
All right.
I heard how you get kennel cough, by the way. I think we got to have a little shitty chat later.
That was so funny in the Discord.
He'll put it in the comments below.
If you're not in the Kitchen Table TCG Discord server, that means you're not a patron and you're missing
Get off this podcast.
Oh,
turn it off.
Should we tell people about our plans that we keep talking about all the time? The hidden second podcast.
Yes,
we eventually will have a hidden second podcast, patron only.
It will not be about TCGs.
It'll just be stupid. It's gonna be horrible. It's gonna be great. I love it. It's gonna be everything anybody ever wanted.
That's actually true.
Languages and TCGs. Back to the main topic.
So, here's my experience. Like, so I was an investor in a company in Spain that does ed tech. And like my wife and I are planning a trip to España, Viva. And I was like, I called my buddy, the CEO. I was like, hey, like I'm going over there. We're going to see you. I'd love to hang out. Like, do I need, like, what do I, like, how much Spanish do I need? And he openly laughed at me. This must be how you feel. It hurt me deeply. I cried and I called the Magic historian.
I'm proud of
and he laughed at me because he was like, we all speak English.
Yeah.
Like, we all speak English.
Yep.
He's like, let's like, we prefer Spanish, but like, if you speak in English, we're going to know what you mean.
Yeah.
Magic has reached that ability that like people will just know the cards.
Yeah.
Fab hasn't. Fab has to be printed in several languages still. The cards aren't as well known yet. There's different mechanics still.
Help me, because you just said that everybody in Spain knows how to speak English. So why do they need Spanish cards?
Because there's more intricacies, in my opinion, on a Fab card than a Magic card.
Okay.
And like the complexity of Fab requires a more nuanced language.
Yeah. I want to just, I don't have an opinion on here. I'm just playing devil's advocate. I'm not trying to say that they shouldn't have printed in other language before.
No, I get that.
Louis was dissing other, like, that's not my, I'm just trying to understand.
I also tend to think like, listen, like Magic doesn't care if they grow. Fab really does.
So, yeah. Is there a, yeah. So I listened to Desolator Magic talk about, shout out to Desolator Magic.
Coming on soon.
Well, I don't know about that, but a viewer of the podcast, I said that. He didn't actually say that, but
he commented. You don't comment on a video you don't view.
No, I'm saying that he didn't say that he was coming on after James White. We don't want him to come on after James White because then he'll literally never be on.
I thought James White was next week.
James White's always next week.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So he's coming on in 2 weeks, I guess.
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
Desolator he had a great take. He was like, the issue is that they never got the translations right because they always took the lowest bid for translations.
That's hilarious. I did not know that.
Yeah, that the translations, there was always issues, and that they just go with the lowest bid, and they never fix it, and they just don't seemingly care. I think it's a really difficult thing to translate TCGs because of the way that the wordings all line up. It's just weird. It's just hard.
I can see that.
What do you think Fab does to improve their language translations?
I mean, like, just don't go with the cheapest bid, right? I mean, I want to kill them. I know I made a joke at them earlier, but like, I think it's like, listen, like, it's their first shot at doing foreign languages. Like, I would expect these kinds of hiccups. Yeah. Like, I didn't read this and go like, oh, these bozos, what have they done?
There's clarification. The lowest bid was Magic, not Fab.
Yeah. Like, I mean, like, I'll bet you they did the same policy though. But I mean, like, this stuff happens. Like, it's a learning curve. Like, this is new to them, and it's going to take them time to figure it out. And like, good for them for taking the time to figure it out. Like, I know, like, that's fine.
Those Marvel the original heroes are pretty sweet, the Marvel versions, but they it goes straight to your point last week about Metazoo, like always making a better version of the card, and it just like makes the gold foils, right?
Yeah,
where it's like it puts a cap on the foils, so now all those cold foil heroes that people won in events, like now you have the Marvel version. It's just like, God. Languages, great, good stuff. All right, let's roll into a priceless Magic rumor.
Great, I'm gonna refill my coffee. Do you need to get some more Prime? I can't believe you don't drink Prime.
Yeah, I should start drinking Prime on the podcast.
It is easily the thing I judge you for the most.
I should probably go get.
I am not proud of your drink choices. I want to make sure you and Magic Historian know that.
Why?
Because you're not drinking Prime.
Oh, gotcha. All right, we're back, everyone. I'm gonna leave the Prime part in. Priceless Magic rumors. So there's a big conversation going on. What?
Thank you for clarifying you're leaving the Prime discussion. Shout out to Logan Paul. Our guest next week with James White.
Yeah.
He's interviewing James White next week, actually.
Oh my gosh, dude. Can you imagine if you got James White on Impulsive?
If he does Impulsive and not Metazoo be with you.
I'm all in, baby. I'm all in. Gosh, is 90% of this podcast just talking about Impulsive and how James White will never be here? All right.
That and how we're proud of your patrons.
Okay. Yes, we are. My patrons are amazing. Thank you, patrons. Love you. All right. Priceless Magic rumors. So there's been a lot of discussion coming out about Priceless Treasures, which were originally in the OG Zendikar. They bought. Which I knew. You did not know this. This is like LSV to you. The original Zendikar, George goes, I have a bunch of that at my
I do.
No, you have Battle for Zendikar.
I got both.
You do not have original Zendikar.
With the red box, right?
You weren't a store back then. But
one of the distributors had it for like, it was like at $500-$600 a box at the time, and I bought a bunch of it.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Is it worth a lot now?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure it's like $800-$900. We should do a box opening. Send me one. I'll open it. I'll pay for it. Yeah, I'd love to. So I think it's only the first print of Zendikar though. I think there's a difference.
Oh, I know what Steve told to me. I definitely got screwed on that deal then.
Yeah. But they bought up a bunch of cards from the secondary market. They bought dual lands and Power 9, and then they had some boxes that they broke and then put into a slot, and you could get a priceless treasure. And the idea was you're at Zendikar, you're hunting for priceless treasures, and it was really cool. It was a great thing. You like Rudy today still opens up boxes, and the whole idea is like you might get a reserve list super cool card from it or whatever. Okay.
Nothing is dumber than the fact that TCGs just don't copy what works in sports. That's a very popular thing in sports. Buybacks.
Oh, is it?
I was like, yeah, like they buy back some cards. They have they make a number, so it's 1 out of 10. They make the player autograph it and they shove it in the pack.
Yeah.
The fact that like TCGs just don't straight copy what works in sports is something I will never understand.
It's like, why don't they have an art card that's actually signed by the artist?
Yeah.
Like Magic.
How much is an artist going to charge you to actually sign it?
Yeah, Magic is just lazy, dude. They're just lazy.
One a case that's actually signed.
Yeah.
Like
not one a case. Make it super hard.
Sure. Do a relic where like you get a piece, you get a small square of an original painting from one of the artists.
Yeah.
Just copy. Go to www.tops.com and click on their high-end boxes.
Don't do the Metazoo boxes.
Those are Wade. Those are Wade. But do any other box on Top's website and like copy what they do, and your game will do a lot better. Yeah. You're welcome. I just helped all of you Kickstarters except for Maelstrom and Polywog.
We shouldn't need to tell you this, but here's
it is how does nobody do this? It drives me crazy.
Okay, but that's Zendikar from 15 years ago, 20 years ago. 20, man, I'm old. But now the rumor is, and so it's kind of scaled a lot. The start of the rumor was that it's going to be in a set this year. And then the rumor kind of moved, and a lot of people are now thinking that it's going to be in the collector boxes of Dominaria. The big reasoning being why they chose this set, because I actually thought it would be in the Brothers War, because it, in my mind, makes a little bit more sense. Like, it's just kind of like an older thing. Anyway, but because this is the first official set in the 30-year window that's celebrating 30 years of Magic's history. So essentially what they're going to do is open up some old packs, old boxes. There's been a lot of weird, reserve lists, buying going on in the last couple months that is just kind of abnormal, but that's also Magic. So that's the kind of conversation that people are having. That's going to be in collector boxes of Dominaria, which is cool.
If that's true, I think that's cool. I kind of got the hint that there might be WPN exclusive collector boxes coming out soon, or there's going to be a special box just for WPN stores versus Amazon.
Yeah.
I wonder if those two rumors are linked. I don't know. I also don't know if that's part of Dominaria or not.
Yeah.
If they do that, that's cool. I will say this. I pick on Wizards more than any other game, despite nobody commenting about it because nobody here cares about Magic. But they have done a lot.
We're trying to change that.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah. Magic fans, comment. We're here.
Welcome.
Yeah.
They made it so that Arena now comes after store release. They're if they do these WPN exclusive boxes, they're doing a lot of things to kind of help the LGS.
Yeah.
I wish they would get some of those prices back in line. But listen, baby steps.
Dude, the prices are insane.
Prices are insane. But listen, people are going to pay it.
Yeah. I worry about standard sets. I mean, when you have New Capenna right now at $135, $140 a collector box, yeah, look it up. It's sad.
That's true.
Yep. It's sad. Trust me, I know. I may have sold some this week.
Online?
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Because distribution just had a sale. I'm getting my spend up, baby. I gotta get more.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I gotta grow into the megalodon LGS that you are. buddy.
I will, Louis, and want you to know I'll be proud of you either way.
I know. Thanks, man. I appreciate you. You're such a good friend.
140. That's crazy.
Yeah. So like that's the type of stuff that worries me, because their prices that they're asking for stores to invest in their product are considerably higher than the current price of an older booster box.
Yeah, and they started reprinting collectors again, which is interesting. They stopped doing it for a while. Then they started again with Kamigawa.
You think that was a reprint, not just like a, hey, here's some extra stock? Really?
There's a lot of extra. I got more on the restock than I did on the first stock.
Yeah, I got, well, they didn't have like an allocation is the issue. Like Southern was just like, how many boxes do you want? I was like, oh, a lot.
I got hundreds.
Yeah.
I think I got like several hundred.
It's crazy.
I've been buying, my store will soon be renamed Kamigawa and Modern Horizons 2 Sport.
MH2 though, you can't go wrong in MH2. I don't think you can go wrong in Kamigawa either. I
put it in the back, let it sit for 5 years, it'll be ready for you.
I don't love the change in that. Like, I wish I would just keep it what it is, but that's the risk too. And now they're jacking up the prices for stores. It's now like, it's stupid. It's more expensive to buy from a store as a store than it is to buy the previous one on Amazon, like direct from them. So like, why as a store are you really okay taking that risk? I wish there was some more transparency in the way that they do that. But a WPN exclusive thing would be really cool. Like you're talking like the mystery boosters, essentially, that kind of thing. Like the mystery boosters are fantastic for WPN stores.
I think Wizards has done a lot to help the LGS this past year that they haven't gotten credit for. They have. Like, listen, I think it's absolutely fair to say they're the greediest greed monsters to ever walk the planet, other than Rudy. I love you, Rudy. But like,
yeah,
they have done a lot to help the LGS, and so has Rudy. But like, the Wizards has done a lot to help there is one store that I can think of in the world that doesn't sell Magic as an LGS. One, and there's a reason.
Well, so I think they've done a lot to help the LGS. It just seems like one step forward, two steps backwards. And it seems like the two steps backwards are always financial and hidden. And it's always like, I believe that the people at WotC love the LGS and want to do things to help it. Like their customer service is phenomenal. Like their account reps, the way that they communicate with a new LGS, the way that they communicate about prizes and all that stuff is,
I tell this to everybody. Like, why do we all take Magic? I know my promos will be there on time.
Right.
If I have a problem, I have a rep I can call. They're going to pick up right away.
Yeah.
They're going to help me with my problem, or they're going to tell me they can't.
Right.
But like, there's going to be direct, easy communication. They make it very, very, very easy to carry their product.
But then you have the pricing stuff and the greed and the million SKUs and the weird stuff. I don't know,
man. Like, I think some of that's just like, here's my problem with that. Like, let's look at the million SKUs thing, which I agree with. There's like a billion SKUs for Dominaria. Which one aren't you buying other than theme decks?
Well, they got rid of theme decks.
Other than the theme boosters, I'm sorry. Oh, they got rid of the theme boosters?
They got rid of my understanding is they got rid of those and they replaced them with Jumpstart.
Good. That was the only product nobody ever bought was the theme boosters. Right. I mean, like, it's like, what product aren't you going to buy?
Right.
Like, you're going to buy them all.
I honestly like the Jumpstart part. Like,
Jumpstart is great.
Yeah.
Jumpstart's too cheap.
No. You mean the boxes, the old Jumpstart boxes? Well, they've reprinted them like 400. Like that stupid product, when everybody wanted it, they didn't reprint. Well, it was also COVID, but I remember those boxes were like $200 and now they're like $60 because they just kept reprinting them.
I'm buying a bunch of them.
Yeah, I already have quite a few, but
people sleep on Jumpstart. Shocking.
Let's hop in. Let's talk about your big issue this week.
All right.
Distribution games.
There is one distributor in particular. If any new game uses them, I will have no sympathy for you. None. Zero. One distributor has basically said to us, we are going to sit on our second wave of Double Masters. We're not going to sell it.
It'll be for sale in December at, jacked up prices.
I have I moved distributors this week.
Yeah.
I am now a Southern boy.
Years at the other distributor.
Years. And like they helped build my store. My rep did. My rep's a friend of mine. And they're also now dumping Metazoo. Yeah. I can't say the name. Can't be that hard to figure out, I'll be honest with you. But like I like the reprint for Double Masters has been out for weeks. I have gotten dozens of cases from from Southern for restocks. You got to get your spend up, Louis. We've talked about this.
I'm trying. It's all man, it's so frustrating.
And like I called my other rep, the other distributor I mainly deal with. They're like, we're not gonna like. I don't know. I might maybe I'll get you boxes one week. I'm like, the restock's out. They're like, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
What?
And they were late on allocations. They were way late on allocations.
Way late. And like, I'm done. Like, if any new game uses that distributor, you deserve the pain that is coming to you. Because like your stores are just not going to be happy with you.
Yeah.
And you deserve that.
It's hard
because like you now know who they are.
Yeah. It's hard to grow your business when you can't like get boxes of the main product. And
I can't help but notice they were pretty adamant about getting me every single box I was allocated of Commander Legend.
Or my $6,000 worth of Metazoo second edition theme decks, like 6 weeks after release day.
Yeah, they were pretty adamant about taking that, weren't they?
Yeah, they. Yeah, pretty much told me
I wonder what the difference is between those products.
Yeah,
got to think about this a little bit more.
Right,
it's a real mystery to me.
Well, it's just about this is what we talk about all the time with the risk. They have no risk.
They have no risk.
They hold distribution holds zero risk, and it's absolutely crazy. They have zero risk in their game. They make more profits than stores, and they have zero risk attached to it. So the distribution model is so jacked up in this. world.
In the span of 36 hours, they basically said we're not getting Double Masters. They rose the price of Evolving Skies to basically TCG price.
Yeah, which is the restock that they said that was going to come in August. Yeah. This is the restock for Evolving Skies. So all of you people who are like holding back on buying Evolving Skies because you heard rumors, those rumors are now like, congratulations, stores can buy it for the same price as TCG Player has gotten down to.
And then they started to dump Metazoo all within 36 hours. And I was like, I'm done. I moved my account.
The Evolving Skies one took me.
It sent me to the roof. Like I was just like, I'm done. I can't do this.
Yeah,
I can't do it because that means I got to charge more than TCG.
Right. Which I mean, yeah.
I'm like, I got to charge like 150, 160 for a booster box. Then that seems hefty.
Yeah.
For a box that literally just got reprinted.
Right. Massively. They got a large reprint.
It's
crazy. It's like we're talking in circles because this is what we always end up talking about because it's the same thing over and over again.
This one was this one was a different level.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of stores upset about it.
Somebody told me that they had double-digit stores leave over the last 3 days from this distributor to other distributors. That's a big deal.
Yeah,
like. Wizards will take note of that. Is my gut.
Good. I'm glad.
I emailed Wizards. I've never tattled before on a store ever. I don't think I've ever. That's not true. I tattled on one store that was selling promos for Fab. That's the only other store I've ever tattled on. This is the only other time I've ever tattled.
There you go.
In my adult life.
I like it. All right, let's move on.
I'm proud of them.
Kickstarter updates. So
Polywog to the moon.
Polywog is
dead.
I did back that one, so I don't fully. Yeah,
you did not back
just two boxes. Well, our friend knows them. I don't know. Like I was all about it. I was all about supporting a friend.
I am less proud of you now.
whatever. I support my friends and stick up for them. 2,
and whine about it.
Maelstrom.
My favorite drama.
I've heard I don't know. I don't want to talk about it because I don't know the details. I've heard a million different things. What? Like, I don't even know what to talk about. And then Sorcery has a 2-month delay.
Okay, let's be very clear here. There is the Great Wall of China between the first two in Sorcery.
Yes.
Like, no, like we are not at all saying those three are linked in anything other than they were all on Kickstarter. Like,
you want? Okay, I'll throw some positive ones then, because Cryptic has received product. I'm gonna see.
Yeah, Cryptic's ready to ship.
They're ready to ship their booster decks, which
you will have on
Kevin's Market
for sale.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Listen, he was talking to me, not to you. You don't respond to Discord.
All right, and at fleshandblood.com.
We'll figure it out. Well, eventually George and I are just gonna have georgeandlouis.com. No. Oh, you're right. It's gonna be louisandgeorge.com anyway.
Domain.com. Your favorite domain hosting website, if I remember right. You better buy that before this podcast airs or you're screwed. I'm not buying it. Because every time I buy it, you yell at me about how I did something wrong.
Because you have 15 accounts for domain.com.
I go on whichever one is cheapest.
George has like 17 different options. Like when he has a million domains, and they're all under different domain websites. There's Squarespace, there's domain.com, there's GoDaddy, because he just Googles discount codes. Gosh, you're hilarious. I love it.
It's like 30% off.
Like my wife and my every dad in my family, my stepdad, my dad and my wife's dad, you don't remember any passwords. You have no clue what your passwords are. And everybody in my life has no clue what their passwords are. And then they come to me, you come to me with all your internet problems. And I say, okay, what's your login? And you say, oh, I don't know. Didn't I send that to you like 8 months ago? How the hell am I supposed to remember what your password is?
This is not very supportive.
Yeah, no, it's not. Nothing grinds my, what really grinds my gears. Nothing grinds my gears more than people who can't remember their passwords.
I am proud of what I am able to remember. I want you to know that.
Good. You should be. All right. So first off, we saw these coming.
Wait, okay, hold on. Let's be very intentional here. We saw that these kind of fly-by-night games were not going to make it.
So I want to say this. First off, I never anticipated that things wouldn't ship. That's not like I've never backed something on Kickstarter and not received it. I have backed.
Really?
I've probably backed 50 to 60 different things on Kickstarter. I've always received my stuff. Sometimes it's like 2 years delayed. Like I'll give you that. Like when Sorcery said they were delayed 2 months, I was like, yeah, of course they were. Like that completely.
I am stunned at the number of TCGs that aren't delayed. Like Genesis doesn't seem like they're going to be delayed. Cryptic doesn't seem like they're going to be delayed.
Cryptic's early.
Yeah, like I am stunned that they're not delayed. Both made in Canada.
Listen, Tanner said
maybe those maple syrup loving people, I don't know,
hockey
are onto
lovers?
something.
Maple
hockey lovers, poutine lovers,
maple syrup loving hockey lovers.
Maybe Magic Historian just calls them and berates them until they get it done.
There you go.
He motivates them.
Motivation.
Do you feel more motivated today?
Tanner, no. Tanner. Tanner said on his interview with me, he had already scheduled the print time and he knew that he was going to have the booster decks early and be able to fulfill because he had already paid for the printer time. So like that one, that doesn't surprise me.
Cryptic has it together, man.
He does. But Sorcery doesn't bother me. I completely understand that.
Yeah, it doesn't bother
there's
me.
like some big auctions selling for Sorcery cards on the Sorcery marketplace. Lots of interest in that right now. The Maelstrom one I didn't really follow because that fell apart with the creator already. With the what was they called originally?
Final Redemption, something.
Like when I think I was a backer of Final Redemption.
That makes sense. I could see you backing that.
But then it just died and never finished.
because he stole all the artwork in the world.
Right. And so then I was like, I'm not going to back the same guy. And so I didn't get into Maelstroms. I haven't really been following that.
I don't know what I want to say. I don't know how much I want to share.
This was your part. You wanted this in the podcast. I didn't want to talk about it.
I think it's worth talking about. I think it's worth talking about some of these games are starting to collapse.
We never talked about Maelstrom once. That's why I didn't want to talk about it. Polywogs, man, that sucks. I think the conversation was he couldn't get the money together. I know there was there was some people he
used money to do everything but print the freaking game.
Yeah.
He made stuffed animals. Didn't print your cards.
Yeah.
He squandered your cash.
Mm. Yeah.
What all these games fail to realize is that the first print run is nothing.
Yeah.
You have to have enough money from your first print run to get to your second, or you just have a dead game.
Right.
You can't raise enough money for one print run of one set.
Right.
You have to be able to do a second set.
There will be a game that figures this out, though, that you can just be a Kickstarter TCG.
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
You will see a game that just says we are going to use Kickstarter as our business model, and every new set will be Kickstarter, and that'll be the only way to get the cards. No distribution. Yeah,
I'm in.
Let's do it. The All You Me set. We don't need Channel Fireball. They're not.
I need Sasha to make a promo for me.
No, he's gone.
R.I.P.
Yeah, no, not like that. He's gone though. He's out of the pictures. No more Channel Fireball.
There can only be one bald man in this business.
Yeah, I expect there will be more of this though.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Again, who's buying these? What stores? If they're not going to go Kickstarter, they have to be in distribution. They have to be in LGSs. What LGS is going to carry Polywog? Find me that LGS.
Yeah.
Find me the LGS is I need some Maelstrom in my life. They're having a tough enough time with the bigger games that are new.
Yeah, but that's kind of, I think the problem is you can't have all of them. I'm identifying this, and even on my YouTube channel, never mind as at the physical store, but even on the YouTube channel, you just can't have all of them. You have to find one and if you decide to take Genesis and you push Genesis and you have 15 Magic players, 20 Magic players at your store, and you teach 5 of them how to play Genesis, and they'll fall in love with it and they'll go with it and they'll ride it, and it'll be great. But if you have 20 Magic players and you say, hey, let's play Genesis, and then 3 weeks later you're like, hey everybody, here's Maelstrom, they're gonna be like, we just spent $100 on Genesis. You know what I mean? It doesn't work.
Too many games, and a lot of them aren't gonna make it.
I agree with that. Yeah, 100%. But that's not I don't think that's to say that new games will instantly fail. I think there's a world for creative and new games. And again, I think your version of success for TCGs is different. We're in a world where you can have a Discord. Cryptic's running an event this weekend or in a couple days. That's a online TTS event.
Cryptic is in distribution. They had a very successful Kickstarter. They sold out. That's a pretty big step towards success in my view.
Okay.
That's you're on the path to give you a shot. The ones that I'm just what are we doing here? Right. They're in 2 stores. They've been turned down from every distributor. They have 14 people playing a month. They do competitions. There's 6 people in there. At some point, I'm not going to be an astronaut. I don't care how much I wanted to be when I was a kid. I'm not going to outer space. Me and Elon.
That's sad. You could still go to space.
I mean, that butt would die.
There's a place that sends up hot air balloons right by your house, right? Too soon. I got backstabbed this week. Too soon. They send you
that song "Aliens" by Katy Perry was amazing. I just want that on the record.
They send
especially the Kanye version, even though I'm recommending Louis Vuitton.
So this Kickstarter update is just to tell you.
I cannot believe they released a balloon right in my backyard and didn't tell me. Outrage.
this is just to note, like, I agree that a lot of the stuff you need to be watching the games that you back. But I think this is why I do interviews with the creators. Like, this is why I vet them and actually have this is why I'm excited about that, to actually have conversations and put them in front of people and say, hey, you can listen to the creator and figure out, do you think that Tanner from Cryptic actually has what it takes to fulfill this, to fulfill what he says he's going to do on Kickstarter? Tanner has gone above and beyond any expectations that I had for Cryptic in their Kickstarter.
Yeah, I mean, like, he's on the path to success. Like, that doesn't mean he's gonna make it. That means he has a shot.
Right.
And like, when you're in this bit, like, and like where we are right now, that's as good as you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Like, he has a shot to be accepted into a lot of LGSs.
Right. Yeah. Anyway. So be careful about all that stuff, and it'd be interesting to see when all this stuff actually ships and who.
Yeah, I'm not worried. The delay for sorcery didn't matter to me.
So on Polywogs, I'm just like not going to get anything. My money's gone. Right, like it's just out.
I mean, like he asked Rudy for some help, I guess. So maybe Rudy will bail you out.
I doubt it. I doubt that's going to happen. Good thing I didn't go as heavy as I went in every other Kickstarter this year, other than Maelstrom also. Anyway, all right, finally, Metazoo, the Metazoo minute, the minute everyone's been waiting for. You start, because I got a cough again, so go for it.
What are we talking about?
The dump list in
I mean, the same distributors dumping all this product again. Like, they did two things that I thought were like pretty egregious this time. First, their prices got totally crazy. If you remember right, a very gorgeous man stood on this very podcast and said boxes will go down because distributors were dumping.
Yeah.
And there were some not loving comments in the comment section that time from Metazoo fans about yours truly, saying, oh no, this will just be more profit for the stores. It doesn't matter that they're dumping. I said, listen, man, this is easy. I can charge less if I pay less.
Right.
And like, if I don't, somebody else will.
And it's not you, it's the store.
No, it's the royal we.
Yeah.
So like, when distributors dump, prices go down. Why is New Capenna 140? A distributor just had a fire sale on.
Especially when your allocations are based on how much money you spend. And the relationship with your rep and how they need to make money. And so if you're like, this was exactly what happened with New Capenna. I already had 12 boxes of New Capenna collector boxes. And then my rep was like, hey, do you want to pick up some New Capenna? They're blah, blah, blah. And I looked on TCG Player and I was like, oh, I can pretty much make my money back and make $1 or something after shipping.
I'm in. That's $1 times
and
6.
I can get my spend up.
Case, baby.
And I get my spend up. It's a way to hopefully get more of the next set or whatever. So I already had it. So I bought it and I sold it, and it was a wash, but like it allowed me to get my spend up at distribution.
Here's the part that was a little gross to yours truly. They had a bundle, which is normal. That's all right. I've given up fighting the bundles. I've given up fighting the bundle fight. God bless. But the bundle included Nightfall, which they were sold out of, and their promos. Why are they allowed to basically sell their promos? Yeah. So it was against the rules.
Yeah. Listen, like, I saw that sale list. I didn't even like really look. You looked at it way more than I do. I was like,
that's because I care. Like, that's because I care about my store and I'm proud of what I built.
Yeah. How much did you buy?
None. I will never support that nonsense. I would buy the daylights out of that bundle.
If it was at MSRP?
It's below MSRP.
If it was at cost. Like
if they had been like, I'll be honest, I got more than 1,400 boxes of Wilderness. I got 10 promos. Now you're selling them? Can somebody explain that to me?
Oh, or the other.
Oh,
no. What? They're not the golden promos.
They're not the golden promos. That's all you can say. I bought pallets And I got 10 promos?
Yeah. That's typical.
And now they're for sale? With a bundle of Nightfall?
Yeah.
I will not support this. I did not buy it. I will not buy it.
It's me. It's me. Ignore it. And so I like this meshes really well with a lot of the comments last week. There was we need to say, like, this is an issue.
No, we really don't. We really don't. But
no,
continue.
Because I'm not dealing with it. I'm fighting back. This is fighting back. I'm not just going to take it from you and from the comment section. This is fighting Louis. Okay. Listen, we talked about 100,000 boxes being too much, and obviously 100,000 boxes is too much if distribution still has Nightfall, which was 50,000 boxes. Obviously, this is an issue. And Metazoo, what we'll figure out is, does a wave system work? This is the first time Metazoo for UFO has done a wave system. So right now they are releasing a certain number of boxes. This is like what Pokemon does. This is what, we're just getting Evolving Skies, right? We're getting another wave of product. So Metazoo has said, we're only going to print 100,000 boxes. They printed all their boxes at once, but they are keeping boxes in their own personal warehouse, not at distribution, not at whatever. And we will see if the wave stuff works. But we talked last week about 2 weeks ago, and we said we thought 100,000 boxes is the bigger issue. It's not an issue of demand. It's an issue of supply. The supply is higher than demand, and unless you can skyrocket the demand somehow, you're not going to ever get to that supply, and that the supply is just too high for the demand. We talked about this, and then our comment section last week was like, I can't believe you guys just never talked about the 100,000 boxes. How you call yourself creators? We already talked about it. We did it. So I just want to rehash it.
I just want to say, I don't care what you say in the comment section because I don't read them.
Yeah, that's very apparent. So I don't know. I still think it'll be interesting to see how the waves.
I loved how you sent me every one of those comments from the comment section. We already talked about this. We already talked about this. Then that's on them. That's on them. Don't worry if they can't remember what happened 7 days ago. That's on them.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
I am proud of you.
Thanks,
I'm not
man.
Proud of them.
Thanks, man.
You built something really amazing.
Yeah,
they have built nothing.
It's amazing how encouraging you are these days. It's like something you went from being a friend who doesn't stick up for people, or to just a great friend. It's really great. Yeah. Appreciate you, buddy.
Welcome. You're welcome. Anyway, it's right here. Right from here.
I know it is. So I don't know. This dump list just kind of solidifies a lot of the conversations we had 2 weeks ago, though.
And listen, this isn't on Mike. I think the print run is on Mike, obviously.
Right.
But the dump list is on this distributor. I will guarantee you, Mike couldn't. I am sure somebody sent Mike the dump list. I am positive he saw Nightfall boxes with promos for a price and was like,
wait, what the heck? Yeah.
Those promos were to encourage you to add new stores.
Yeah.
You selling them de facto doesn't do that.
This is why they're going to direct to stores.
This is why they're going to DTC, and this is why any game that uses that distro, I don't want to hear it. When they burn you, like they've burned every game they've carried.
Yeah.
Don't come crying to yours truly.
Yeah, I agree. It's it's every time. It's
always the same distro. Yeah, always. How are they one of the two that carry Fab? Somebody explain this to me.
Because they're above it. There's no risk. What's the game supposed to do? What's Metazoo supposed to do? I guess they're doing it. They're creating their own thing.
Cut them and go to other distros, like they have done.
Listen, my I don't think the other distros are the play. Man, you have such a great experience at the other distro. I have such a
here's what I'll tell you. I have varying degrees of good interactions with every other distro. ACD, Alliance, not so much Magazine Exchange, that's a different animal. Southern, obviously, my main rep, my brother. But like the that one distributor, universally terrible.
Yeah. No, I mean I agree, but like I think something's got to change, man. This is like it's an antiquated way of doing business. It doesn't work.
I agree, but like there's better and worse ways to handle it.
Amazon fulfillment.
Sure. Like getting rid of distribution is a great way to solve all the problems.
Yeah.
But if you're not going to do that, pick a better distributor.
Yeah.
Like there's better and worse distributors, and this one has like routinely proven to act in the game's worst interests.
All right. We're beating a dead horse.
That's not very positive of you.
I'm tired.
I'm proud of my ability to handle a podcast.
You can make fun of me all you want. I am still incredibly proud.
I am too.
Of this
I am too. I am proud of my ability to create content too.
Good.
I don't like
you should be.
That hurts my feelings.
You're a great content creator who is just currently beating a dead horse. So
thank you.
You're welcome for being a friend and for stopping you from doing that.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah. All right, everyone. That's the end of May the Zoo be with you.
The proudest podcast.
The proudest podcast. Thank you for being a viewer. I just want you guys to know.
I'm proud of you too, to all my viewers.
I'm extremely thankful for you for watching, and
I am thankful for you for watching and proud of you for listening.
Yeah. This is life, man. You give an inch. You give an inch. Anyway, remember to be kind to the people around you, unlike George, and
I've been very nice to you this entire podcast, might I add.
Yeah, it's been weird. We haven't been able to like do our usual back and forth. I already said it. You have to say the.
You gotta say it at the end.
You talked. It's not my fault. You talked. May the zoo be with you.
And also with you. Nailed it.
And remember to be kind to the people around you.
I'm proud of you.